know, every day in this life, I learn something new about myself and about life, period. And one of the most important lessons that I have learned in this year is sometimes letting people to have experience on their own, because experience is the best teacher. Sometimes allowing people to go through things and just sit back and watch. You cannot always save everybody. Absolutely not. Like the song said, she don't want to be saved, don't save her. And not everybody wants to be saved. Some people wants to drown. Because when you almost drown and you make it alive, you wake back up, you get out of that water, you will go learn how to swim. So sometimes in life, it's just good to be a listening ear and not a speaker. And I've been practicing that a lot, to just be a listener and keep my opinion and my advice to myself. Because sometimes the advice and opinion you go to give turn out to be wrong in the person's ear, even though in the long run they're going to find out that that advice was the best advice you was giving them. The same goes to me. I used to do that. When somebody giving me advice, I'd be like, but then in the end, I found out that that advice was for my own benefit. And in certain cases, I had to learn the hard way. We can't save everybody. We can try, but we cannot save everybody. Today is Friday, October 25th, 2024. It's in the morning. You can make an attempt, you can try. But sometimes you gotta leave people, let them do what they wanna do. And you just sit at the back seat and allow them to drive. When they realize that they're not getting to a destination and they're just driving, no direction, they will want to ask for direction. So, lesson for today is, as much as we want to save everybody, we want to help everybody. We want to be a voice of reason to everybody. Sometimes you take your know it all attitude, mentality, and put it in your pocket and zip it up. Because people who tend to know it all in the eyes of the next person, you think you know it all. So sometimes you gotta keep your know it all behavior and your attitude to yourself, and that goes to me. You know, that goes to me. Honestly speaking, I like to talk about myself. I don't like to talk about nobody, because it starts with self, right? And gradually, I'm learning. Like gradually, I'll probably not either want to partake in a conversation, and I'll just listen and be like, oh, okay. And sometimes my brain will shake a little, and I probably want to ask a question because I love to ask. I'm very inquisitive, right? And I want to know things, so I'm going to ask. But sometimes, now and then, I just listen. And if I do give my 2 cents, if it rubbed the person the wrong way, I apologize. And I take my 2 cents and put it in my pocket. Because I know that 2 cents that I was giving you, it was worth listening to. Because you're going to come back and ask for that 2 cents again, and then that 2 cents ain't going to be available. That's how I operate. But in all fairness, sometimes we got to let people do what they want to do, make decisions they want to make, go with the flow they want to go with. And you, as a support system, can just be a listener, a supporter from the background by listening and not partaking into the conversation, and just listen. Whether that is your friend, dream, relationship, whatever the case might be, you just sometimes listening is the key. I need to learn that from my brother because he is a great listener. He will not partake whether he sees the wrong, he sees the negative, he sees, you know, you about to drown. he would just listen to you, especially when he know the type of person you are. He would just listen to you and allow you to flow, and he would not say pim, but me and I let that. And I'm still learning that part. Gradually, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. You know, I think one of my biggest flaws, to some people will be a flaw, but to me is a good thing that I struggle with, is the fact that when I know and see a person is being taken advantage of, just the way when the next person sees that I'm being taken advantage of, that I want them to let me know. And if I don't listen, that's on me. And I think it all falls in a category of being an advocate, a protector, um, somebody who, when they see wrong, they want to point out the wrong, including myself, you know. So I just always come from that instinct of always being overly protected, but sometimes we become too overly protected. That is not good, because the next person sees you to become the enemy instead of being happy for them, being victorious for them. They now sees you as the enemy. So sometimes it's just good to just sit back and watch the car show and just not say anything and keep your opinion to yourself. Keep your overprotectiveness to yourself. And I think another thing, we gotta know whom we're protecting, whom we're fighting for, whom we're gonna fight for, you know? And that's just everyday life lesson that we learn. And they said those who have ears to hear will hear. Those who don't have ears to hear, they will not hear. Our forefathers and mothers, those are the favorite saying. If you have ear to hear, you will hear. If you don't have it, you feel the pain, you know? So I don't know. I think I always had this overly protectiveness in me. And especially for somebody that I care about, it just become wild. But then at a certain time, I step back and just allow the flow to flow. And with that being said, you might be coming from a good place. You might be coming from a place of care. But sometimes it's just good to keep your care within and allow the person to do what is best for them, because you don't want to be seen as the enemy. Happy Blessed Friday again.